Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilburn. I want to welcome you to today's session of how to make money trading stocks and options. Plus, we're going to take a little bit about some trading tips to be taking a look at. Joining us also from closer to downtown Honolulu than I am, but Dr. Steve Ferrara. Steve, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Steve, you would have really enjoyed the discussion I had yesterday with Anil. He's the meetup leader of the Delaware IBD group, and he is also a Wyckoff, aficionado like you are. Yeah. And so I love how he combines both a little bit of the Wyckoff along with the Investor Business Daily stuff.
Sure.
And so we had a good discussion.
Was he on your session or just one-on-one with him, you and him?
Yeah, it was just one-on-one with him. He's going to be coming on board and giving a presentation for the Bay Area Moneymakers, the second meeting that we have in February, not February, in April. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be talking about the watch list that they put together for their group in Delaware. Mm-hmm. And it's, excellent. It's doing well, and a couple of the tricks of the trade that he knows and he follows with his group there. So anyway, there will be more out about that soon. So hey, are you talking from just real quick, are you speaking from a what kind of mic, like a headset and mic?
No, I have a third-party microphone.
Okay.
Okay. No microphone system now.
Okay, no sweat. And so you just get just a little bit of static, but that's all right. So hey, just remember, we are here to basically, don't just survive but thrive in any market. Steve does a great job of providing us a stock to watch every week. He's got a great stock for today, and then I've got one to lay on top of that looks like it's doing fairly well. And just remember, hey, please share this with information with your friends who might be interested in the market. We do this every Friday, or I would say 99% of every Friday of the Fridays. We do it at 11 o'clock Pacific time, a couple hours before the market closes. You may find something that we do during this 15 minutes that we spend together that you want to apply it, and you can apply it to the market that day. So that's pretty good. So a market index review, master trading tip, and then a stock pick of the week. I like the pick of the week because I've been following the financials, and you're gonna like this. So just remember that what we do is for training purposes, and all traders should paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Here's what I wanted to highlight to folks going into today. Is one of the things in discussion, it's always a good thing to chat through things with another trader. It helps you see places where you need to strengthen up what you're doing and vice versa. And so it really is a situation where iron sharpens iron. And I was talking with Anil yesterday, and one of the things that, and Steve, you do this also, which I really appreciate, is that you wait for not kind of a follow through, but it's a momentum shift. Now you define your momentum shifts a little bit differently from each other, but it keeps you from getting in the market too early. So the trading tip for today is basically just wait for the momentum shift confirmation on the time frame of your trigger. So in other words, if I'm triggering off the weekly chart, I want the momentum shift. I use the TSI. Some people use the stochastics or the RSI or the MACD, but you wait for the shift. Then once the shift is confirmed, then you jump into the specific trade and trigger into the trade. If you're triggering, if I'm waiting for things to set up on my weekly, my daily chart, and I actually trigger off my intraday, I want that intraday to be in sync with the other clues. In other words, if the other two time frames are saying buy me, and the daily in the intraday chart is saying no, I'm already extended, it's not a good time to buy, I want to wait for that intraday chart to pull, to basically set itself up. So I've got a green light to buy, but I need that final kickoff with that intraday chart to be able to jump in. So again, learn to wait for your momentum, especially if you're one of those if you're a trader who tends to be early into trades and or is a little bit compulsive or impulsive. And so, and as I put out, and a lot of people are asking me to send them my trading plan, I'll be glad to. Just send me an email at that email right there, and I'll send you a copy of my trading plan and trading rules. Fits on one page. Very simple. Here's where we're sitting as of right now. We're up nicely. I'm okay with where we're at. The NASDAQ is still struggling a little bit. Now, we may have gained back a little bit from when I took this snapshot about an hour and a half ago. But NASDAQ, again, is the lagging index. The Russell is the leading index. We will see if the Fed coming out and saying they're not going to mess with interest rates until when? 2024. Now, I struggle in wrapping my mind around how are they going to not mess with the rates over that time period, because I mean that seems like a pledge to keep money at money fairly cheap, and therefore where that should favor the small caps. But the small caps can, be wonky on their own, and so we'll be watching that as we're moving forward. Let's jump into the charts. We'll be looking at a daily chart on the right and a weekly chart on the left. As you can see on the daily chart, what's going on? Let me grab my pen and pencil here. And as you can see, let me grab that across here. As you can see, is what's going on? Well, one, yeah, we're in a pullback. Pullback to where? Well, right now we're at the 34. We may get to the 50. What are some of the things that I'm looking at that are driving my decision? This is another one of those where we're going to go, okay, what, depending on what you use to show you that the momentum shifted. Right now, I use the TSI on a daily chart and a weekly chart. And what's the TSI telling me? It's telling me that the momentum is heading down. Now, it's not falling out of the sky heading down, but it's just gradually dropping down, which oftentimes means what that means is you're going to get a sideways consolidation, and you'll get into a trading range. And so the trading range on the S&P currently, you want to be looking at about 374 up to these past highs, which is about 395. So that's where I want to alert for a potential trade in the S&P. And in addition to that, I want to let this is what I like about using the TSI, the 883 exponential TSI, is that it puts in wonderful patterns to show me when the momentum is actually shifted. How do I find out what those are? Well, I just basically take a little, I can draw lines. I can go to highs to lows. And as soon as that breaks out of there, that tells me, my momentum is shifted. Now I have a green light to trade. Really an excellent mechanism. The other one you can do is just take the high here and somewhere across there. There we go. When that breaks out of that high, that gives me a time that says your momentum is shifted. Now, when we come back and hit the 8 or the 20-day moving average, I want to be a buyer. So if you haven't seen that before, that's a really great, I'm going to be doing a training for premium members that's going to cover that. And let's get out of this real quick. Let me get rid of that drawing. because, and the other oscillators or indicators that you use, they all tend to show, I know RSI also shows really great patterns. You just have to learn how to interpret them. And so we'll do an interpretation guide. So what's going on with the Qs? Qs are, again, Qs. What's happening with the Qs? Okay, we had a breakout above the trend line. That's good. That's positive. We're having a move back. We basically, the rally attempt carried up to past resistance. That is basically a signal that, oh, by the way, hey, I'm going to go back down, which it did. At the same time, we had conflicting information here in that we broke up above the trend line. That's positive. And now we are coming back to the trend line. And oftentimes when we're going to go back into a uptrend, it will kiss the trend line goodbye, and that's the beginning of its move up. Also be aware of what's this looking like. Shoulder, head, potential shoulder. And inverted head and shoulder, which if it breaks to the upside that's a very bullish indication. What are the downsides of the particular pattern? One, TSI is crossed over to the downside. However, it is reaching a point, which is the zero line, where it can and tends to bounce. What's the mixed signals on the intraday, the weekly chart? Longer term market forecast heading down. TSI heading down, but approaching a level of support. Now, if we mess around at that level of support and then break below it, that would give us an indication that we're going to dive to deeper, lower spaces. You have to remember that with the NASDAQ, this fall from this high here to this low here was about 12%, So that is a very healthy, nice correction. Let's see what happens at this point. Right now, we do not have a reversal signal yet. Okay, that is not quite a piercing line, and we're moving right back up into the moving averages. That's the other thing you can keep an eye on. If I'm below the moving averages and I'm below the 50, that is that supports the bearish side. And you can see as we've been bouncing around all around the darn thing all week long. So it's crazy. I mean, it's 2 days rally, and then a shooting star, and then basically a drop and a rally, and then we fell out of the sky yesterday. And so I feel like Chicken Little a little bit. The sky is falling. IWM. Okay, IWM on the other hand, TSI heading down, market forecast heading down on a daily basis. Same on the weekly, longer term market forecast heading sideways. Price action is heading sideways. This is, the TSI, correction, the moving averages have not crossed over to the downside, and we're still finding support. What we can do on this particular type of trade is I would like to see a reversion or a reverse off of around the zero line, back up, get across. That may happen if we take out today's high, which is at 222. Let me give it to you exactly. Today's high, which is 228.60. And so Steve, that's what I've got. We still have a mixed bag regarding the indexes in the market. And so what you going to do?
Well, I basically agree. I think it's a mixed bag. Yesterday threw me for a loop. I thought it was a stronger downside move than I was expecting.
Yep.
But we're holding today. There's no follow through to the downside. I read it as being fairly bullish, but I would give the market a little more time to confirm that.
Yeah.
I have some good setups, but probably not going to take them until Monday.
So yeah, and that's one of the things I really appreciated in talking with Anil about yesterday is basically going through, and he told me about his, and it's basically called, and he's going to be presenting at the Bay Area Money. It's called the triple screen.
Triple screen, okay.
And so he has to have three of these clues in place, and that's his green light to start trading. Trading to the upside. So good stuff. So what are you going to tell us about? Is this Schwinn bicycle?
Schwab.
Oh, Schwab. I'm just kidding you.
Yeah, do you still make bicycles? Schwinn's anyway?
They do.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway, getting a chart up. I think it's in a wonderful trend. The sector is pretty firm recently. I would consider it part of the financial sector, the brokerage section of the financial section.
Right.
I like the relative strength that it's showing. We had a pullback in mid-March after it's been in a pretty decent trend, but it was really strong during the market correction. It showed great relative strength.
Right.
And I think we've gone sideways for 5 or 6 days now. I like that as a place to try to get on board. I particularly love today's price action. The volume is a little low, so I would wait till Monday. And for me, the trigger would be trading above today's high.
Okay.
On Monday would be my entry.
Okay.
Showing my way of looking for that momentum for a trigger is price action. If price can trade higher, I will get in.
So today's high currently, let's say it stays approximately where it's at. Today's high is approximately 66.59.
Yeah.
So your entry would be at where?
About 61, 62.
Okay, so 66, 61, or 62.
Right.
Excellent. And then, yeah, I mean, this is just in a really nice little, gradual uptrend, which is cool. And you mentioned, and I'll just throw this up really quick, you mentioned this corresponds pretty well with XLF.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, look, I mean, even the TSI looks similar to that.
Right.
And it wouldn't take much of a move to get this back heading to the upside. So,
for me, the basic concept is the Wyckoffean concept is to try to buy relative strength.
Right.
Stocks that are stronger than the general market.
And so that's FCHW. And so excellent, Steve. I like it. I mean, it does have weekly options, and so you have a lot of different potential trades to be able to do with a Schwab. If
Right.
sometimes a stock like this, Steve, can be a really good stock to learn how to trade options on, because it is gradual in its movement. And so, hey, I have a bonus stock for us today, man. You ready?
Give it to us.
Okay, AMAT.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, look at that. Similar looking to the even to Schwab,
right?
But it's basically just moving right up off of the 34-day moving average today. And again, this is a low day, so there's a couple of different ways to play this. You can take a trade, off, a couple of 5 cents a nickel up above today's high. And for me, since I do want to wait for it to get a crossover on a pure, get a good momentum shift, that would probably do it. And then I would have, we would wait and see if we're going to break out through the top here, but it'll give you a $3, $4, dollar move before it gets to that level. But AMAT, I like it to the upside. It's showing some of the same characteristics, and it is one of the top stocks on the IBD listings.
Yeah. I agree. I like it a lot. I almost used it as my pick today.
Really?
Yeah, it was one I considered when I thought Schwab was a tad better.
Yeah, I mean, and so, okay, well, that basically concludes. I hope you like those picks, everybody. And we will basically get over. Let me find my. Let me find how the heck to get out of. There we go. Rest of what we're doing. So, hey, I don't know if you journal or not, but you know that traders who journal are more consistent traders. And if you're looking for a great journal, My son Brandon put together this journal. It is a journal for active trend trading. It has active trend trading rules in it. It has over 160 pages. It comes in two sizes. One is the 8.5 by 11, and a couple of you guys have this journal actually. But if you're interested, it is over on Amazon. Not on on Amazon. And if you're interested, I'll just throw in the links here. There's to the big journal, and then this other link is to the small journal if you're interested in that. And it, like I said, it gives it's one of the top-selling trade journals on Amazon. So I'm really proud of what my son put together. So there you go. And last but not least, hey, habits are easy to form and difficult to get rid of. At all times, be discerning and wary about what you are rehearsing. You know, so oftentimes what we learn in trading is so applicable to the rest of life. And for me, this is exactly what is in fact applicable to, you know, how I live, basically. And so it is directly relatable. So that does it for today. Steve, thank you so much for the stock that you provided. Thanks everybody for joining. If you are joining us if you're a premium member, we'll be back at the top of the hour. And so from our home to yours, aloha, trade well, prosper, keep sharpening your saw. Mahalo and God bless. Thank you, Steve.
Very welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, God bless everybody. So, okay, I'm going to leave this recording on just for a second. Catherine, I'm sorry I missed your two questions. But which platform do I use? I use the Thinkorswim platform. And then any thoughts about Dick's Sporting Goods? You know, at this time, it has not come out on any IBD list that I'm aware of. And but I will take a look at it after hours and tell you what I think. So thanks a lot, and aloha. God bless everybody.